Yo, what is up, fam? Thanks once again for tuning into the channel. So this is KIXPLORE. We're talking everything about sneakers, lifestyle, travel, and a little bit of everything in between. And I'm finally doing it, guys. I can finally do the review for these babies right here. So these are the Salomon ACS PRO ADVANCED. Let's get into this video. So first things first, you could see how wild this actual sneaker is. I've been wanting to do this for a while, so there have been a number of different colorways that has been released for this sneaker already. A lot of different collaborations. Salomon definitely be on that hype train, if you know what I mean. And in terms of finding out about the hype, like I tried looking around for it and like why people are really jumping onto Salomon at the moment. I honestly couldn't really find out anything other than the fact that the hiker core or the gore core aesthetic is getting really popular, and technically Salomon is sort of like an outdoor brand. In fact, the Salomon Advanced kind of subline brand has this kind of thing to say about the actual brand. It says, a space where curiosity fuels exploration and encourages an ongoing collaboration between the outdoors and humankind. So you can see that there's this aspect of the outdoor element, and now I think Salomon is trying to bring it into the sneaker kind of culture, which I think is pretty cool and good move. You definitely always want to see different types of kind of sneakers being, you know, pushed around out there instead of just the normal, you know, Jordan 1s. You want to see a little bit something different, you know. So, like, check how wild out this sneaker is compared to, you know, what you normally see. You know, you like try to change it up kind of bit, you know. And I gotta say, for around 300 Australian dollars, which is a pretty expensive sneaker, it does have a lot of different like features that go into it. Number one, you could probably see straight from the get-go is this really weird rib cage looking thing. I think it's called the kurum structure of a cage. I don't know, it's got that name on it. I tried looking at what kurum means. I couldn't really find that answer as well. If you guys know, please let me know in the comments below. But as you can see, it's sort of like a mesh material. You can see my fingers moving around inside. That's how pretty much transparent the whole quarter paneling of the medial and also the lateral side as well. It pretty much is a see-through kind of sneaker in the middle. If you look this way, I can actually see the camera. More of a summertime sneaker compared to like the winter time, where, you know, you don't want the water going in, or if it's very cold, your feet gonna get cold as well. But this has the best kind of ventilation in terms of a sneaker I've ever seen or have ever owned. It's like the closest thing that I have is the Nike ACG AOs, but the only kind of see-through element is this black mesh part over here. So that's probably the closest thing. It's not nearly as much ventilation as this sneaker right here, because it's also got the mesh paneling on the toe box area right there, which is different materials. So you can see that this is more of a plastic kind of mesh here, whereas this one is more of a fabric. On this sneaker alone, there must be at least 7 or more different kind of materials being used. The heel counter, this is like a really smooth, shiny, I think it's like a laminated rubber. That's what I kind of thought. I thought it was plastic at first, but then when I'm like squeezing it like this, it doesn't feel like plastics. And when I actually looked up on it, I think some website described it to be as laminated rubber, which makes sense because there's also other rubber part paneling being used, just like this one on the rib cage. The actual quarter paneling cage over here and over there. There's all these different kind of mesh fabrics being used along the collar area down here. They've got the like different meshes on the toe box right there. They also have this other, like it must be sort of like a rubber, like a tumbled rubber. Well, I don't know, it's definitely got like that pebble effect on it right there, and it goes all the way onto the other side as well. There's so much going on. It's got the double loop or the finger holes in the back. I'm a really huge fan of that, actually. I love finger pull tabs on the back. It just makes putting shoes on so much easier. And speaking of you know, lacing systems and putting your shoes on a whole lot easier, look, check out the lacing system right here. If you haven't seen Salomon sneakers before, basically they have this really unique lacing system here. Sometimes when I have to actually take a double take on them because I don't know exactly how they work, especially when I first saw them. So basically what you have to do is you get this sneaker, you put it on, you tighten it with the plastic buckle or the plastic component, this one right here. And then once I get to a comfortable spot, you can either just leave it like that, let it like kind of flop around and everything, or usually they have this really cool Velcro secret pocket right there on the tongue. So boom, you open it up and then you put it in right there. So that kind of or you could put the whole thing in there if you really want to, like into the actual Velcro pocket, or you can just let it loose like that. I tend to just like let it loose just like that, and because it's not so much of a, well, it hasn't really annoyed me yet, so I don't put the whole thing in there. But that's basically, I think that's how the design goes. Other people might have different kind of ways that they do it, but that's how I thought it usually goes, and that's what it says in the instructions. So in the instructions as well that it gives, you could see right there, it says for you to put it inside the Velcro pocket, but it doesn't say if you should put the whole thing in or not. Other things I think I like to mention as well in terms of this sneaker is that a lot of its inspiration came from the ACS Pro, if I'm not mistaken. This is a sneaker that came out in the 2000s, which has a very similar look to this. So in terms of the cushioning on the inner lining, on the insole, it's got the Ortholite insole right there. I can attest it's just pretty comfortable. So I definitely think these are daily wearers if you're into that kind of thing. Yeah, man, these are great. I'm telling you. The midsole cushioning, or the midsole, I think it's called the Agile Chassis Energy Cell midsole, and that's basically, yeah, everything that goes around on the midsole. It's got a really high traction design for the outsole right there. It's got the contra grip rubber right there as well. So yeah, definitely like a wild looking sneaker in my opinion. A lot of things going on. For this one, it's very subtle branding. The only Salomon you see is an actual one right there, but for the other ones like the XC4s and the XC6s, it's like pretty much plastered with Salomon all along the side, so it's kind of hard to miss. Thought about getting those ones as well, but I might see in terms of money and all that kind of stuff where I am later. But yeah, those are really expensive. Like all of the higher range models are around 300 to 320 Australian dollars, and because of like the increase of costs and everything like that, the prices are still going up. So it's a really big investment, and definitely something like this will stay in your rotation for longer, and at least you can know that all the Salomon sneakers, whether they look like they're for winter or whatever, you can definitely use them for hiking. The XT4s and XT6s, I would definitely use them for hiking. They look great. So in terms of sizing, I went with size 10. I'm normally in all my Nikes a size 9.5. So if I were you and you have wide feet like me, I would go for the higher one instead of going down. So if you're a 0.5, let's say an 8.5, and you have wide feet, I would definitely go for the 9 instead of the 8. So that's pretty much my review for these sneakers right here. A lot going on. It's definitely not your average sneaker that like a lot of the normal hyped sneakerheads would probably go for. So if you're going for, if you're trying something different, if you're like feeling like New Balances and all that kind of stuff, definitely try this one as well. You can be pleasantly surprised how nice they look. It's definitely got that tech wear vibe to them as well. So perfect tech wear summer sneakers right here. And I went for the all white version because obviously, because I believe that all white matches pretty much everything, and some of the other colorways that have released are pretty wild, and actually don't know if I can pull off all those kind of sneakers. So I went with the all white. There's all these different colors still releasing. I do believe that they are still on trend, so a lot of the people that get these are the people that, like, if you know kind of sneakers. I gotta admit, I had to take a really big hit in my wallet just to try and get these, but I definitely think they are worth it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Also answer these questions for me, guys. Do you think Salomon is on the rise? Why do you guys think they are being so hyped right now? And do you think that the higher end models like the XT4s, XT6s and the Salomon ACS Pro Advanced if they're actually worth the higher ticket price range. Let me know in the comments below. Anyway guys, thank you once again for watching. I hope you learned something. Let me know if you have any other questions regarding Salomon sneakers in the comments below. But if you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. If you like the content intro, please consider subscribing to the channel. Anyway guys, thank you once again. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.